Hey everybody, happy Tuesday night. I know it's late. I apologize for the tardiness. We're supposed to be on it after NXT, but family was out at Six Flags today celebrating the kiddo's birthday, so we are here now. It is just after 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. Thank you. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the Jeff Meacham Network, on the Greg Cherry brand, on the Casa D-18 Studios, and of course, the original home of Talk Wrestling, NoDQ.com. So here's the deal right off the bat. This is the open forum. Ask Meach anything, as it has been for a long time now. However, any super chats that come through on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things and the Greg Cherry brand side of things directly that I can see will go directly toward the fund that you guys have asked for. As of now, we're not covering WrestleMania Backlash coming up on May 8th because of it's not a big 5 WWE pay-per-view. However, if we get to $100 in super chats between yesterday and April 30th, the end of April 30th, so before May 1st, we will do a watch-along and reactions of this pay-per-view. So, a premium live event, excuse me. As of this morning, the total tally so far is $27.97. So we're more than a quarter of the way to 100. So you guys want to see the Jeff Meacham Network team do a watch along like we did of WrestleMania this weekend and of Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, send those super chats in, guys, and we will definitely get the show out to you. As of now, the next show we are scheduled to do on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things is Money in the Bank, which of course is in July this year, July 2nd, since it is every year. Money in the Bank is in July. And then the next show we're going to do, period, as far as pay-per-views, is going to be Rebellion, which we'll have a preview of for Impact Wrestling coming up on Friday the 22nd, and full coverage over on the 23rd. All right, I got my plugs in. I'm good to go. Hello, Edward. Hello, Scott. Hello, Mike. Hello, James. Good to see everybody here in the room with me, and much, much appreciated. As I said, long day. Six Flags always is a long day, especially now with my health the way it is. But I was glad to be out there because my boy was happy, and that's really what it comes down to. I had a little bit of an epiphany out there walking the hills. Definition of parenting: paying money you don't have to go someplace you don't want to go, but smiling as big as you possibly can because your kid is out there having a good time with their friends and he's just having the time of his life. So it was a wonderful day out at the park, and I am grateful to be here for anything with wrestling. And Mikey is posting without putting his name in because he doesn't pay attention in the group chat in the group on Facebook. But hello, Mikey. Hope the hockey game is going well out there in Nashville. I know he's out there at the Predators home arena watching the Minnesota Wild come in. And you know what? That's your opinion, Mr. Pimp Squad. AEW may be better in your eyes, and we will be covering AEW when they go on pay-per-view again. Whenever that may be. I know it's going to be in May because we've got it all set up, and I've got the May calendar here somewhere. I thought I did. I lied. Okay. I don't have it. Well, anyway, yeah, that's the plan as of now. Whenever Double or Nothing is, we will be covering that as well. Let's see. That's a question, so we'll get to that in a second. I can't wait for Bailey to finally return with that the candy arm. Yeah, there you go. Candy arm, exactly. I agree with it. Kedrick says, do you think Sting and Hogan at Starrcade was needed to be for the world title? Yes, definitely needed to be for the championship. That was the goal. It was built around Sting recovering the most coveted trophy in wrestling from the evil NWO. So yes, it was definitely a major centerpiece of that feud and of that match. Yes, I am planning to go to WrestleMania next year when it is here in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, of course, Inglewood, whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, I have been working hard. I was up the better part of the night trying to figure out everything I wanted to do, and that is the road. That's the road we will be on in the next 12 months. A lot of cool stuff coming up. I don't know if you can see the graphics. It's pretty tiny, but a lot of shows coming up in the next few months. The Purple highlights will be explained later, but pay-per-view watch-alongs, dads, Now I Was on Wrestling, Ask the Dads, the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesdays on my channel and Greg's channel, Talk Wrestling on all 4 of these channels in the coming year, and just so much more. A lot of cool, as I said, stuff coming up in the next 12 months. So the goal is to get those super chats coming in. for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is expensive and it's 2 nights because WWE hates me and they hate the fact that I have no money in my wallet. So that's the ultimate goal, to get WrestleMania money. And Predators beat Wild 6-2. So there you go. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Preds are better at home. At least they seem to be. One of my thoughts on Ezekiel that's going to flop hard. I can already feel it. You know what? Like our buddy here on NoDQ.com, if you're watching on that feed, which we appreciate, of course, TJS always says, let it play out. Let it breathe, guys. It literally debuted last night on Monday Night Raw. And I don't have a problem with it as long as they maintain the shtick. I thought it was a different approach. I won't say it was necessarily clever, but it was definitely different. And it's a hopefully a fresh start for this talent. And the Elias thing only had a short shelf life. And if they play it out properly, it'll be gangbusters for my money. Apparently, it's WrestleMania Backlash. It's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda No Holds Barred. I'd love to call it. I'd love to have Noah and James call it, but we're not going to do that unless Super Chats start coming in. We haven't had one Super Chat yet, and we've already been on the air 7 minutes. So a lot different than yesterday. We had the chats coming in left and right yesterday. So I don't know what to tell you guys. And again, the Super Chats not only go toward us doing Backlash, it also goes toward, again, us being able to do better quality shows as far as the equipment. Right now, we've got a pretty cool setup here in the new studio, but that only goes so far if you don't have the maintaining of the equipment, right? So I know people go get a real job. This is my job for now, so have to do what I can with what I have. So I don't have the resources of Mr. Riff, even though I've been graciously allowed to simulcast on his channel on Tuesday nights when he's not having a prediction show or some sort of special event on Tuesdays. So again, I thank you, Aaron. I thank Greg for the opportunity to stream. I thank JJ for the opportunity to stream on the Casa channel. And of course, I thank me for my channel because it's important. Jeff, City by the Bay says, Jeff, what's the match of the year so far? That's very subjective. Out of the weekend that we call 3 nights, the best match I've seen so far this weekend was, and it's going to be shocking for me, the best match I saw so far this weekend was the Briscoes versus FTR at Super Card of Honor. That was a unbelievably wonderful match. You had Cody versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship earlier this year in the ladder match, and of course, Cody is now with WWE. Didn't get a chance to talk too much about that yesterday. It was more of a focused topic session yesterday over on Ask the Dads, but happy for Cody. Very happy that Cody's felt the need to go home and make it right and honor the Dream's legacy. Everybody knows how we feel with the Dream here at NoDQ and the Jeff Meacham Network, so I am here for the American Nightmare getting a possible run with the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, or whatever the hell they're calling that friggin' thing these days. It's hard to keep track, not gonna lie. But again, cool stuff. And Bianca versus Becky this weekend was very good. I don't honestly think there was a badly executed match in and of itself. Granted, the New Day versus Sheamus's group thing came off very poorly, felt rushed because it had been moved from night 1 to night 2. The whole thing with McAfee and Vince and Austin was what it was going to be. Yeah, Vince is getting old. Vince McMahon's getting old. He's not going to be able to take the stunner quite so well. And again, there was a lot of speculation on social media that he was so into taking a great stunner that he oversold it and just crumpled under the pressure of the kick. He forgot about the kick, so he doubled over for real. So again, there wasn't, I think, a bad match this entire weekend between Super Card of Honor, Stand and Deliver from NXT, and WrestleMania both nights. So, but again, Backlash is just 5 weeks away, and Backlash tends to be a train wreck more often than not, which is part of the reason why I want to call it. And again, part of me wants to be faithful and hopeful and pray that rematches from what were really good WrestleMania matches will deliver on May 8th. But I'm a realist. I'm an optimist. I'm a pessimist when it comes to WWE and their booking and their match quality. But I've been wrong before. I hope I'm wrong again when it comes to WWE and their matches coming up on May 8th. But again, we can't get there until we get Super Chats. And we have James and Noah that agreed to do it. So I'm hoping we get there. Like I said, we got a quarter of the way there just in one night last night. So it was so awesome to have that kind of outpouring of support. It was very, very cool to see that happen. So I am very, very appreciative of that. So thank you, everybody at home that or everybody that watched wherever you were last night that watched Ask the Dads. And again, we got shows coming up all month long, all year long. We got the Greg Cherry Show every Wednesday night, unless I'm out and about, and Greg will do it by himself, which he's perfectly capable of. I do want to plug the interview I have coming up Thursday because it's a friend from the past. If you remember my time in the indies out here in California, running promotions, doing booking and whatnot. Mariah Moreno, who is the truly first transgendered athlete in professional wrestling. There is an article on her Instagram. I highly encourage you to check that out because she is legit. She's the first. She's the trendsetter. She's the trailblazer. She'll be going one-on-one with me coming up Thursday night at 7 o'clock Eastern for Pacific. Next Thursday, we welcome back Jenny Santana, the general manager of Ultimate Women Wrestling, as they move closer to their debut event in Las Vegas coming up in May. And she's promised she's not going to come back to the channel alone. So curious what Jenny's going to have in store for yours truly. I mean, she's a Hall of Famer daughter, so she's going to there's going to be shenanigans for sure. James says, down the road, Alexa Bliss has unfinished business with Charlotte. She does. There's definitely something there. But, if you notice, if you follow Alexa's social media, she's being very, very much just her. Like, they did the therapy stuff, and then it kind of just tapered off. And she's just doing her own thing. WWE doesn't have anything for her, that famous claim we hear so many times over the years. So she's just doing social media stuff. She's doing, promo events type, like the video game thing they had a few weeks ago. So if they give Alexa something to do and she gets to be in a championship program, great. If not, maybe she'll see that the bread is buttered better on the other side of the proverbial toaster. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong because I like Alexa and I've grown to appreciate her in WWE, but we'll see. Mohammed says, happy Tuesday on a Tuesday night, Jeff Meacham. I hope you are doing well, and same with everyone in the live chat. Well, thank you, Mohammed. I appreciate that very much. But you want to offend me with cash, as Bobby Heenan used to say. Again, just it's definitely a fun time to be doing the stuff that I do, that Aaron does, that Greg does every week, that JJ is going to be coming back and doing this on the regular. It's fun to be wrestling fans again, and it hasn't been for the longest time. The entire network era, and that goes back almost over 8 years now. It's been very kind of plodding, very kind of just like it just doesn't get better. But AEW is still holding its own. The NWA is surging again for the first time in a long time. Impact is actually producing great quality entertainment. I did get to watch Multiverse of Matches also over the weekend, and that was a very well laid out, very well paced little mini show that they did. Very cool. I'm looking forward to Impact on Thursday. And of course, WWE, like I said, I enjoyed both nights of WrestleMania. I enjoyed NXT. I didn't get to see NXT tonight. I will be watching that tomorrow on Hulu. I did watch Raw last night in its entirety, over 3 hours. I didn't get to watch it on time because I wasn't available on time. I had my son's birthday dinner, but I did get to enjoy Raw the whole 3 hours, and it was worth it. I did want to talk to JJ, and he's here. Hey there. Hello, JJ. I know JJ was going to bring his daughter on to Hulu this morning, I should say, or whenever they got up, because she's a teenager and she's on spring break. So getting up is a relative term. But I'm curious about her and JJ's thoughts on Raw, since it will be her first time watching Raw in any capacity, even on Hulu, in years, I think ever for her, as far as actually sitting down, making the conscious decision to watch it on her own, because she was little when we were watching with her before. So let me know, Jay. Let me know what she said. Let's see. What else do I have to plug while I'm waiting for more questions? Again, the next episode of Dads Proper, we'll have Ask the Dads next Monday again, and we'll go ahead and throw that graphic up. Boop. There you go. There's Ask the Dads coming up Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Next Friday, the 15th, which is Tax Day, but it's also Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th. So we will have, JJ and I will be talking about our all-time favorite baseball player, top 10 all-time favorite baseball players. That's our next episode of Dads Proper. I'm very much looking forward to that. I would like to see WWE sign Cody Hall. I've not seen Cody's work, so I don't have a frame of reference to properly say yes, they should, or no, they should not. I think signing him because of what happened with his dad, I think is kind of not disrespectful to the business, but I think it's very much, why sign somebody they don't have a lot of intel on with just because of they feel bad for him. I mean, and again, it makes me sound like a real jackass to say that. I'm not trying to come off as such. It's just you don't sign somebody just because of pity. You don't have somebody, get elevated in the car just because their best friend died, passed away, or whatever. That's just not how, unfortunately, from a human standpoint, it's not how the business world works. You don't elevate somebody just because they've had a trauma in their life. As far as on a business level, you want to get behind somebody and motivate them and elevate them and, support them in their grieving and their time of need. But you don't hire a professional wrestler to wrestle for the top company in the world just because, um, just because of, a passing of a family member. That just again, it's hard to phrase without sounding like a dick. So whatever. Mohammed is very surprised that WWE has no creative plans for Alexa at this past Sunday. Yeah, surprised not to see her, but doesn't, again, they don't have anything for her. Daniel, you're not too late. We've only been on the air for a little while. So it's all good. JJ says his daughter called Bobby Lashley Mickey Mouse because of the point with Pyro. If you're a Phantasmic fan like I am, you know what that means. If you don't, look up Phantasmic, the Disney show on Google, on YouTube. You'll figure it out real quickly. Called Zelina and Carmella, Nicki Minaj, and Jennifer Cruz. Jesus. And felt like there was too much talking. Wow. And that was on the Hulu version, which is interesting that she had that evaluation. Well, there it is, out of the mouth of babes. My niece is 13. So that is a fresh, brand new perspective on the product that WWE's putting out right there. There it is. So I'd be curious if she watched AEW or NXT or whatever the case, whatever you guys are going to watch next. I'd be curious on her perspective from a different company. Be very much like to know what that would be. Brandon says, I predict Bianca will drop the championship on Money in the Bank, if not sooner. Her promos need major work, and if they don't get better, Becky will be right back on top. Gotta agree with that. Mike asked me who I think is going to be called up to the main rosters in NXT. That's a whole series of questions, Mike. I mean, the rumor is Ciampa's coming up to join the Edge faction. The rumor is Rhea Ripley's going to join that faction next week. So there's a lot of good talent there that I think need to stay in NXT and still be molded and shaped and developed better before they join Raw or SmackDown. So the week after WrestleMania is always hard because a lot of guys delivered on Saturday morning. And matter of fact, Braun Breaker won the championship back Monday night on Raw. So it's just one of those where we're in a wait and see pattern right now because we're literally 2 days out from Mania. So loaded question with a most later answer they don't have right there. And 2 matches, really? I guess on the Hulu version there were only 2 matches, but there were far much. This is why I get so divided between watching the Hulu version and watching on USA on Monday nights or some sort of platform I can watch the whole show. Because Hulu definitely, for the casual fan that wants to get just the facts, man, cuts out all the gaga, which is fine. But there was a lot more on Raw than just 2 matches, if I remember right. So I encourage, again, once she's into the thick of things a little bit, and again, JJ, I know that you can encourage and support and answer questions, but it'd be my recommendation as a fan of 30 years, podcasting for 20 almost, to have her watch the whole show just to kind of get a better idea. Daniel says, thoughts on Edge's new faction called Judgment. I am here for the new Edge group. I love Edge being the leader. I love Damian Priest being the current heavy. If they bring Rhea in, how they bring Rhea and Liv in, I am all about that. I would love to see the different women get showcased. I'd like to see those 2 in Edge's group. I'd like to see what's been suggested on a lot of social media as far as Bianca forming a group with Sasha and Naomi. I like to see Sasha and Naomi join the Bloodline. And I know Sasha's not family-ish. It's not really family, but it's not hard to integrate it. So there's so many good things that are already in place, and there's so much good that just with the right amount of tweaking would be perfect on both Raw and SmackDown. 6-man tag and Braun and Dolph. That's all we saw. Everything else was promos. I swear there were more than those two matches. But again, like I said, last night was very much a blur. We came home from dinner and dessert with Dylan and his friend, and I kind of went through the motions with Raw. I really did. I'll have to go back and watch it again. But in any event, there were a lot of promos last night. You figure the show closed with Roman cutting a promo, and Hulu cut it off, by the way. At least the version I was, because I was watching live on Hulu, but I had rewound it and was fast forwarding through the original broadcast, and I missed the last part of Roman's promo, which pissed me off. So I'll have to go back and watch that again. But again, Roman's hurting. You can tell on his face he's banged up. He's beat to shit. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully he gets better. And hopefully he doesn't have to do what we talked about last night on Acid, which is drop the title. That would be horrific after all the buildup. Mike says he wants to see a new nation. I don't think the nation works in 2022. Very un-PC, the Nation of Domination, or even the Nation under The Rock and Owen and D'Lo, Mark Henry, and Godfather. It doesn't work in this era. And I know that we are all very nostalgic about the Attitude Era, obviously, with what happened Saturday and Sunday with Austin and doing his thing and Vince doing his thing on Sunday. We all love the Attitude Era. There's definitely no doubt about it. But there's a time and a place for certain parts of the Attitude Era, and the Nation is definitely not a 2022 gimmick, nor is DOA, nor are the Bariquas. Excuse me with that horrible butchering. Factions are okay, but the thing with the Attitude Era is the factions were very much more a product of their time. You think the NWO was formed because they were much more reality grounded. So was DX. Whereas, the Nation and the Bariquas and DOA were also a product of their reality, which was there's a lot of separation in society of the different ethnicities. So that's why it worked. Nowadays, at least from my observation, this is just me, being here in the moment, the wrestling fan nowadays, much more the hardcore, I say, than the casual fans they want more layers on their superstars, their factions, their groups, their teams, their competitors. So that kind of story, that kind of gimmick, group, whatever you want to call it, I don't think works in this era. Muhammad says Becky and Bianca are still feuding. I think after the feud, maybe Bianca could join Edge in the faction. I think Bianca joining that is a little bit of a stretch. Just my honest opinion there. WWE won't take the titles off Roman if he's injured. Agreed. But I laid this out last night on Ask the Dads. If he is banged up where he can't be champion right now, do a hot shot. Have Cody or somebody, goad him into a fight to defend the championships, and then he loses it and he has to go, get well, and then he comes back and smashes them, and then he moves on with his life. Cody says Undertaker's return match, if it's true in your honest opinion, and hello, concert. Good to see you, sir. No Undertaker return match. No. I'm not even going to acknowledge that it's a rumor because it doesn't need to happen. That is the last thing the Undertaker needs. That's the last thing WWE needs. And I'm not saying it because Undertaker is a bad personality. It's because he is a liability in the ring. He's admitted it himself. He is not the man he used to be physically. He's not in that place. He's just not. So no, horrible idea. I still like to see the Steiner brothers get a title shot Raw or SmackDown. I don't. Did y'all see Scotty walking down the aisle Friday night? He's not in shape. Rick's happy with his life of teaching. Again, that's another one where the Steiners were great in their day, and I think the gimmick they had, the fresh out of University of Michigan, and I said that out loud, so I'm gonna barf now. Michigan. The collegiate athletes making good in the pros was a great thing for its time. They both evolved into the characters they became at the end of WCW. Scott has a bad rep. He behaved himself Friday night, yes, but both those guys are way past their prime, way banged up, especially Scotty. No need to have them have a championship shot or a run. No way. Does Elias really have a brother, or Elias wants to have a new name? I mean, disguise-wise. Elias, I don't think the person has a brother. I don't know Elias outside of being Elias. So I think the gimmick is fresh and new and different. So there you go. And yes, JG, I did bring this up at the top of the show, but I'll go ahead and throw it up there now since you're mentioning it. We've been requested to do Backlash coming up on May 8th, but if you guys want us to do a watch along, we have to hit $100 by the end of the month, April 30th. We will do the watch along. It has to be $100 super chats. And as I said, right now the tally is at $27.97. So as Matt says, everybody hit that like. Where did it go? There it is. Everybody hit that like button, especially in the Jeff Meacham Network side of things. If you're watching on No DQ or Greg Cherry Brand or Casa, we appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, but make sure you guys like it over on the Jeff Meacham Network, and make sure you super chat. Make sure you subscribe to all 4 channels and get those numbers up. We appreciate it. Will Ezekiel ever become more over than Elias? Very likely, very possibly. I'd be okay with that, actually. Let me get that graphic out so I can show you. There I am. Let's see comments here. Raw After Mania was very lackluster. Raw After Mania isn't the same as the night. Yeah, the Raw After Mania has definitely downgraded, I believe. Since the night after Mania with Roman, as you mentioned, acknowledge me. I rock up from when he got that 10-minute long boo, and then he my yard now. It's definitely not the same thing, but I hope that changes soon. Mike says, I'd love to see next year the WWE Hall of Fame induct Demolition. Again, they were part of that class action suit, so I don't think that will be a I don't think that'll be a reality, unfortunately. So Chris put a comment up, said Rick Steiner's been kidnapped on NXT just because we're like, and Chris, you actually sent a question in, and I did want to bring it up. If I could manage one male and one female superstar from Raw, SmackDown, AEW, who would I help work with and why? Which I appreciate you saying I would help. I thought that's very sweet of you to say it like that. Again, I don't know if they need my help necessarily. That's a good topic for a Ask the Dads, I think, because JJ and I both have a lot of great ideas on that, and I will definitely carry that over to next Monday's show. So thank you for the submission, Chris. I meant to answer you on Twitter earlier, and I did not. And that was 100% my bad. So I will definitely get to you with that question Monday night on Ask the Dad. So thank you again. Do I think Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai will be called up to the main roster as tag team? I mean, they just dropped the titles back tonight to Toxic Attraction. Why have them get a big win on a big stage of WrestleMania weekend and then lose them right back? Media exposure. Casual fan eyes on them. Yeah, they'll call them up. Brothers of Destruction going to next year as a tag inductee. I'll be there, so I'm okay with that. I'd love to get my dad to see an Undertaker induction. He missed this year's because they were in Texas. We were here. If they induct the Brothers of Destruction at the 2023 Hall of Fame with my dad, hopefully there with me, that would be wonderful. What was my favorite match of night 1 or 2? I really like Sami Zayn versus Knoxville, but match of the night had to be Cody versus Seth. So night 1, definitely Cody Seth for me was the match of the night. And my favorite moments were Cody's return and Stone Cold Steve Austin's match. Match of the night for the second night, I will say Edge and AJ. Definitely. And of those two, it's definitely a coin flip because they were both so good. Again, there wasn't really a badly executed match all weekend other than the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland thing. And that was a wreck for so many different reasons. It was just bad. So yeah, it wasn't good at all. And it's now midnight on the East Coast. I didn't want to go too much farther than that because I know it's late. I know you guys a lot of you have work in the morning. So let me do the plugs one more time. And if we have any to super chat, I will gladly stop the plugs and acknowledge the chats because I would rather answer questions than be a shameless shill. So there you go. Greg Cherry Show again tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern 4 Pacific on the Greg Cherry brand and the Jeff Meacham Network. Thank you all for watching on those two brands, respectively, tonight. Again, Ryan Moreno back on the channel coming up Thursday night, or actually on the channel for the first time. She hasn't been on the channel yet. So it'll be fun to talk to our buddy Mariah coming up on Thursday night. And that's what's up for this week. Let's see. I don't think they'll do Brothers of Destruction, especially if Rocky's going to be the headliner. Taker would take folks away from Rock. I don't know if Taker and Kane together would. I think it'd be a cool supplement. I tend to disagree with that, but we'll talk about that on Dads next week. Daniel, who do I want to be in the Hall of Fame 2023? Again, that's so far away. Definitely The Rock as a headliner. BOD is good. Elizabeth would be wonderful because it's the City of Angels where her and Randy got back together on screen. I had a big layout of people that should have been inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2021. What had it been here? I'll dig that graphic out of mothballs and put it up on Ask the Dads or even this show next week. We'll talk more about that. So thank you, Daniel. Chris says there seems to be a whole lot more interaction between veteran superstars and NXT up and comers from Orton and Riddle to Edge and Damian Priest and so on. Do you see this becoming the norm in WWE? I hope so. I really do. I would say the Hart Foundation as a faction, but if they try to acknowledge Owen, there'll be some major shit from the estate. So very doubtful. If it's not Bianca Belair, can't try Edge's new faction. I think Alexa would be benefit from joining. Again, this faction just formed, right? It's literally 2 days old. 3 if you count WrestleMania. So just let it breathe, guys. Enjoy Edge being the mastermind. Enjoy Damian Priest being the heavy. He's going to mess with AJ Styles next week on Raw, so that'll be cool to see how that goes. So then next week on this channel, in addition to Ask the Dads on Mondays, each and every Monday, in addition to Talk Wrestling being back, hopefully, in its normal time slot of after NXT at 10:05 Eastern, in addition to the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday coming up 7 o'clock Eastern 4 Pacific, we will have the return of Jenny Santana, who was on last month to do the initial promotion for UWW Event 1. But again, she's not coming alone, so it'll be fun to see who she brings along. And then next Friday, the 15th, Tax Day, dun, 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 and Jackie Robinson Day, which means our top 10 all-time favorite baseball players from yours truly and the Renegade himself, J.J. Williams. That'll be coming up on the 15th. And then from there, we go to another week of quote-unquote normal programming. The 28th will feature our buddy Statboy, bringing in Statboy Rants for the first time on the channel in a very long time. And then we'll round up the month on the 29th with Backlash matches, top 10 Backlash matches from J.J. Williams and myself. And, of course, the week before that, we'll have our preview predictions for Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view and the watch-along come up on the 23rd. So I'm going to check for Super Chats one more time. Not a one. And you know what? I asked for Shaw, Jay. I did. I specifically asked for Shaw because we saw her on the cruise, or I saw her on the cruise with my dad, I should say. So I definitely want to see Shaw. That would be a wonderful welcome addition. That'd be cool. So then to update everybody, our buddy Noah Foster, who is a wonderful play-by-play commentator, he's a wonderful contributor to the Jeff Meacham Network, to the DQ brand, to all the brands he appears on, decided to do our very first Jeff Meacham Network Predictions League, starting with WrestleMania this year, WrestleMania weekend, I should say. And as you can see, that is the current standings over there on the very right. I am in second place behind Noah Foster. And again, I'm going to try to talk to him about Mikey and Dory. I don't know about Mike Mahar's status with Ring of Honor. I don't know if he watched Ring of Honor, but I know he didn't watch NXT because he's not a WWE viewer by nature. But again, for JJ not knowing anything about the Ring of Honor product, he only missed one the whole night. So that was good on him. He did. Let's see. I'm trying to hide it. Can't see it. JJ just barely did less than me at WrestleMania for overall for the weekend. So fun times. I enjoyed it. I really did. That's what's going on the Predictions League right now over on the and again, JJ's right. Bravo for Noah and James both. They did a tremendous job this weekend for us doing commentary for all 3 nights. I'm sure Noah's more hoarse than I am. I tend to recover very quickly, luckily, as far as my voice goes. We are on let's see, where's my did I not get the shirt? I didn't get the shirt one up there. Okay, we'll have to. You guys are very aware, of course, that we do have a full line of shirts over at our affiliate on Teespring. Let me bring it up because I forgot to do that. I don't know why I didn't get it in there, but anyway, let me boop, 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 boop. But as of last week, for the first time in our history, we are now officially launched over at Pro Wrestling Tees. Very, very excited to announce that. And of course, starting tomorrow, they're having a spring fling sale, 20% off all merchandise. New Japan merchandise is going to be 30% off, which I think is kind of cool for New Japan fans. But ProWrestlingTees.com/Jeff Meacham Network, that's where you can find that shirt right there, which is the official original Jeff Meacham Network shirt with the Greg Cherry designed logo. And of course, you can find all of our merchandise, the full line, over at our spring store at jeffmeachamnetwork.com. I know No DQ is on spring. I know Greg Cherry brand's on stream. Spring, easy for me to say. It's late. I'm tired of this stuff. And of course, you can find everything at nodq.com/merch and Greg Cherry brand on Teespring as well. So check everybody out. You can link all of those, by the way, the Casa D-18 Studios, YouTube, the Greg Cherry brands, everything, and nodq.com itself over at jeffmeachamnetwork.com. So check those out. Looks like the super chats are not here. Oh, and of course, since you're watching, say yes to No DQ. We got all kinds of stuff coming up on nodq.com in the next little while. So be sure to check that out. I guess that's it. No more super chats. So we will see you guys tomorrow on the Greg Cherry Show. If you're watching on the No DQ side of things, thank you again. Come on over to the Greg Cherry brand, Jeff Meacham Network, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. And of course, after Dynamite, which will be at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, will be Aaron's full recap of AEW Dynamite. So be looking out for that. That is it for yours truly. I am Jeff Meacham. This is Talk Wrestling, and we will see you next time right here on the Jeff Meacham Network.